is my Ethernet. Like, it comes from here. Sorry, I wasn't whispering. So, this is the copper line coming in, and the DSL is just that little box or that adapter right there. And then it goes into the router. But then from the router, this is Ethernet. Now this one goes through this wall and all, and then it goes into my computer. Okay. Yes. And so, there it is, the antenna. That one is by foot 5 kilometers away. And now, the straight distance is 1 kilometer. Hello, camera. Yeah. So there you go. That's how I do the mobile phone things. And just to flesh it out, the thought that I've been starting to explain, when you are in a turmoil, because the chaos that they want us to be in by the gender mainstreaming that they now do, like a woman with long hair, that's not what we're looking for. Everyone getting famous nowadays has short hair or behaves irregular, like for a woman behaving like Miley Cyrus is in public. That's just not what men look for. They want to have someone decent. That's just the way it is, And if that one isn't true, if this is just my interpretations of how I see women, at least we know that a piercing on a fingernail, that's not what men look for. It's just gross. That kind of different styles that are out now that the youth is doing, like piercing them here and there, and then the tattooing that they do, and then the kind of hairstyles and all the choices don't end up men and women finding each other, having babies, children, offspring, and by that creating a family, because it's always a family that would stand up for each other. Like if you're not treated fair by the police, all the people of your family, they would just come and give you a hand, right? But if you have no families, if just everyone ends up being a single, living in, by themselves in cities, then of course your family is living somewhere else and you don't have that backbone happening. And also you don't create offspring when men and women don't find each other. That chaos that you have in adults right now is, do I have to be more? I mean, there are women that look very manly, adult women. So that chaos is the same as when being, in that difficult age, that when you're finding out about your kind of who you are, sort of rebelling against your whereabouts. That's in the youth. And I know that I was at parties when I was a teenager, and I was not really seeing where I was, what my possibilities were. I was not really enjoying it. I was just fixated on, there is these people, they dance standing close to each other, and I would love to do that too, but I have nobody that yet has asked me to dance with him. So I was in this mind game all the time, I'm not worthy, I'm not enough for a man to ask me to dance. I could have just enjoyed it, not thinking about that kind of goal that I want to get to, and danced by myself. It would have been a totally different party to me. So a life is a party, things within themselves going on. You know, when on Facebook you can decide whether you are, there are like 50 different genders you can choose from. And that's wrong, because we know there is only biologically two things that you can be. You can either give birth, like once you've become an adult, or you can't. That's it. Because the elite doesn't want people to give birth. They want us all to kind of stay out of that birth-giving business. They themselves have a lot of offspring, but us, the world population, shouldn't create these offspring and that security that stems from having a family. Early on, the government was taking out people from their families. Now it is. 200 years ago, if someone didn't have a mother, she died, he would still stay within his own family. He would be brought up by his grandparents, something. Nowadays, even if some woman is drinking, the government might take away the children and you get raised by a foster home or foster family, or it's a business. It's the people kind of helping out that drunkard woman, the psychiatrists, working with that woman, the government with all the offices that need to kind of do the paperwork and, kind of follow the rules that have been put up by the government. And then all the doctors, all those foster home cleaning women, everyone taking cooking for those children. If it's not your family that gives you the clothes and cooks for you, someone else needs to do it. So that's a business. Nowadays it is well established. When I say it's a business, we cannot get rid of it anymore. Now it is just as it is. And yes, if there's somebody cannot take care of its children, it's good if someone else does it. But it being a business makes people end up in foster homes far too easily. It's just that a child also can have a say in all of that. And it's good, yeah, of course. But if you have a say as a child, you don't want to get back to your drinking mother, for example. So that the family is torn apart. If it's not a drinking woman, it could be just a mother you don't like as much as the surrounding of the foster home. So yeah, that strong bond that would develop between a family, you're missing out on. And then that strong bond is not just for like you get ill or you wanna make it in the world, like you're developing a business and then all your family would be behind you and helping out. It's also if the government rings at your door, now you're just opening the door yourself and they tell you, can I come in? And you go, well, I know the rules, they should not be allowed to come in without a paper allowing them to. So once I was just in the valley living, the people beside me were not content about me and they were calling the police. They said shots have been heard. So the police came running, of course. Shots means there is a pistol, there is something. Shotgun. Okay, so it was in the mid-summer last year and it was hot. It has never rained that summer. So I was cleaning the front staircase with the water from the bathroom, and then the door was still open. So when they came, I was just wanting to close the door, so they just stepped inside and said, so here we are. And then even asked, that was wrong, but I went like, hey, I come in, just have a look. I have no shotgun and I have nothing to hide, just come in. Yeah, I don't care. If I had something to hide, I would have said, you stay outside or you show me the papers to be allowed in here. I'm gonna get my camera and now you're gonna be recorded. This is my home, I can record anyone. So, but I was like, oh yeah. And then they talked to me, and then they made the second stuff that was wrong to me, kind of. They were asking for a legal document showing my name and all. I'm at home. You only have to show documents when you're outside. Even when you're just in front of your house, you need to show it. But not at home, because you live there. I don't have to prove I belong in there. I mean, I was living there, okay? I showed them, no problem. And then they weren't really looking at all the rooms. It was half a house, it had 3 floors. They just looked at 2 of those floors. In the end, they didn't do their work because they saw, well, the one that phoned is wrong. I have no weapons. Then the whole house was empty. Looking around, they didn't even open the cupboards in the kitchen because all the kitchen, the neighboring room was empty. I was just having one computer laptop there for streaming the dance I was doing. And on the other floors I told them, into this room you don't enter with your shoes on. If you enter, you take off your shoes. So that was the room I was living in. So yeah, and then the room upstairs, I could have grown plants there that are forbidden, illegal in Switzerland. But they didn't check. So yeah, if you have a family, there is people right there, maybe in the same house, or you phone them, I'm being searched by people, or I'm in distress, help me, come. Well, they come by themselves, you don't need to say so. So that's what I mean, everyone is by themselves. And then also, if a woman doesn't, is by themselves, if family would have the father would have said, I know that, police, I've seen you, we've been to school together. The mother would have said, no one is entering here without permission. And me being the one they wanted to kind of search or whatever, I would have said, well, yeah, show me your permission. So there is already 3 people saying something against the police. Whereas when you live alone, you're by your own. That one doesn't really count that much. You don't have a backup. People that would back your doing and saying if it goes to court, let's say. That's why the police is always in a bundle, appearing like at least 2 of them at the same time. They can back each other up. And don't you think that if a police hit someone drunk laying in front of his house, so he's got blue blemishes, that they would be punished later on? A police officer actually can do whatever they want. They have this mindset, I'm not gonna get punished even if I hit someone. That's just a fact. I was once with the police in Zurich, and they were even trying to make me fall down the stairs by kicking me into my legs so that I would fall over. I didn't, because I was just leaning onto the side of the staircase. But that's what one of those guys had in mind.